Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Bhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grananti Bhurida Janaha Bhuvi Grananti Bhurida Janaha. The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Visit to Vidyasagar. He is comparing the great sages like Shuka, how they remained established in the Absolute and started giving the spiritual wealth to people. You are also doing a similar work. You are feeling compassion for the suffering mankind and serving them with love. Shuka and other sages cherished compassion in their minds to give people religious instruction, to teach them about God. Teach them about God means now whatever services we do to human beings are at physical level, temporary relief from the suffering. But what they gave is permanent, eternal solution for their existence, to transcend the nature and go beyond, to reach the Divine Supreme and be eternally happy. Suppose I give food to a hungry person, he'll be hungry again after 3 hours. If I give some money to a beggar, he spends in no time, his hands are empty again. If I give some education to a person, it will serve him as long as his body is in good condition, or as long as he is able to work and earn from that education. Where is the end? Again, we are giving temporary relief and making them remain in the world as beggars to continue. But if you give them the way to transcend the nature and go beyond, to attain the eternal, to get rid of the bondage and suffering forever, it cannot be compared with anything. The mukti, the liberation, is most sought, and the sages have found the way, and sages used to give that to man. Give people religious instruction, teach them about God. You are distributing food and learning. That too is good. See, what a beautiful way of presenting. To that extent it is good. You are giving food and learning after getting established externally. A man can devote himself for higher seekings, higher consciousness, higher attainments. So to that extent it is good. Suppose you give education to a person and teach him how to live in the world. Just education will not be sufficient. Suppose I give education to anybody and gets a job, the immediate tendency is to run for enjoyments of the world with the earnings. If you give some strength to the person, he runs after the world. Whatever you give, the tendency is to run over the world. Here it is no. It is to transcend the world and go beyond. But unless the external situations, external life or life in this world is stable, in a stable condition, he cannot be beyond. He cannot stretch himself to go beyond, because his general life itself is unstable. How can he aspire for the higher? The whole efforts goes in struggling. So we have to give them education and give them an ideal. We have to give education, we have to give a goal to reach. We have to give education and show them the path by which, utilizing this education, they can evolve to their divinehood. So that is good too. If these activities are done in a selfless spirit, they lead to God. Now, the objective is one part, what the people are going to get from you. The other is, what are you going to get in return? If it is, I don't want anything, I am just serving them out of love and compassion. In return, neither from nature, nor from God, nor from any sources, I seek anything. God has given me little learning, I give. God has given me some wealth, I give them food. That's all. Selfless. I don't have any selfishness. I don't have the to say even, I am doing it. The kartritva, that is, I am the doer. The karma, the action that I have done, and karma phala, the fruit that I am going to get in return, all the three are offered to God. There is no seeking regarding to this. Then it is called selfless activity, selfless work. When do we call selfless? When I am doing some service, the act I have done, karma, the sense that I have done it, kartritva, and in return, whatever I am going to get in return from nature, if I help, I am bound by the karma and it becomes a merit to me. If I make someone suffer, I get demerit out of it. Like that karma phala is there. The karma phala, the karma and kartritva, all the three I place at the feet of God. I don't want in return anything. Then it is called selfless activity. So, but the most people, if you do in selfless spirit, they lead to God. That is subjective. Who is serving, he will reach the God. But most people work for fame or to acquire merit. Punya karma, I am going to do some punya karma. Some meritorious act. By the virtue of that great merit that I have served, I will be enjoying my life. What enjoyment can be there? I may get lot of wealth, I may get a AC car to move about. That's all. All these are temporary. Once the karmic merit exhausts, I am the same beggar again in this world. But you can transcend and go if you do it with selfless work. Their activities are not selfless. Those people who work for fame, name and fame, or to acquire merit, their activities are not selfless. Besides, you are a Siddha. Another thing Sri Ramakrishna is telling about Vidyasagar. You are Siddha means perfected soul. There are two meanings for Siddha in Bengali. Siddha means boiled things which has become soft because of boiling is called Siddha. The vegetables we boil, the rice we boil becomes Siddha. It is ready for consumption. It has become soft, tender. For eating it is convenient. So the Siddha has got two meanings. One, it has become soft and tender. Another is it has attained its goal. It has attained perfection, Siddha, perfection. Besides, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, besides, you are already a Siddha. Siddha has various aspects. Now, Siddha, the absolute attainment of absolute reality, the ultimate reality, God realization. A person who has realized God or realized a mantra, he is called Siddha. He has attained. They attained. The person who has attained, they attained. Siddha. Another aspect is he has attained certain things, is qualified, totally qualified for a particular, he is also called Siddha. Now I complete my education in every respect. I did all my education for sake of my living, for sake of earning something. So education I have completed, I am Siddha, but getting a job and earning, it is also Siddha. This is, goal is Siddha, here the path is Siddha. I have finished my path, now I have to achieve the goal in return. So I must get a job. The one who has attained perfection in work is also called Siddha. When he entered into profession and started working, is also called Siddha. One is a realized soul, is also called Siddha. One who is qualified to enter into higher life of perfection is also called Siddha. Like grammarian. One who is learning also is called grammarian. The one who has learned grammar also called grammarian, Vinayakanandaji. So Thakur is using the term Siddha in what respect? What am I Siddha with? What have I attained in my life that you are calling me Siddha is the question. Vidyasagar, how is that, sir? Vidyasagar is, how is that, sir? You are calling me Siddha. Siddha means one who has attained perfection. Master, laughing. When potatoes and other vegetables are well cooked, they become soft and tender. And you possess such a tender nature. You are so compassionate. See, the heart, does it feel for others? Can it bear the suffering of others? If it can bear, if it can enjoy, there are people who enjoy the suffering of others. There are people who bear. There are people who can't bear the suffering of others. The one who enjoys the suffering of others is in tamas, is tamasic nature. One who bears the other suffering, all right, what can be done? He is suffering. All suffer. So that way I don't attend to it, but observe, understand and leave it at that stage. He is rajasic, but he cannot bear, he cannot tolerate the suffering of others. He starts weeping, he starts running about, how can I remove the suffering of others? Like Buddha, he went on his great journey to find out the way how man can transcend suffering. So these are sattvic people. tamas, rajas and sattvic. This is out of sattva. You possess such a tender nature. You are compassionate. He has become tender, hard-hearted. One of the German psychologists tells about the modern Indian society. A child which is growing, by the time it attains to full youth, that is at about 20 years of age, he would have seen a lack of murders in TV. And what would happen to his heart? It will never be seeing murdering each other, killing each other. He enjoys that fun. His heart doesn't weep because he is accustomed to see almost daily the fighting going on in the society. Of course, may not be actual but in virtual, in various ways to attract the attention of the people. They start these things to be presented. And what happens to the social condition? When a man doesn't feel for the other suffering man, what would happen to the society? Suppose he enjoys the other suffering, what would be the result? In some of the areas, the kings used to enjoy throwing human beings in a ditch where there is lions and tigers. So how the tiger pounces upon him, how he struggles to save himself here, there, running, and that they will enjoy. So this kind of, here you have become not that hard-hearted, but you have become soft-hearted, tender-hearted, that you weep for others and serve others out of compassion. When potatoes and other vegetables are well cooked, they become soft and tender. And you possess such a tender nature. You are compassionate. You are so compassionate. Laughter. Vidyasagar, laughing. But when the paste of kalai pulse is boiled, it becomes all the harder. There are certain things among vegetables which when boiled become harder instead of becoming soft. Like kolai rice, dal, pulse is the black gram paste we make to do some food material for eating. South India we use it maximum to prepare the idlis and dosas. So when this kolai dal, that is the paste made up of this black gram, is boiled, it starts become hard. The more you boil it becomes more hard. That is his giving. It becomes hard. I too might have become hard. But when the paste of kolai dal, that is kolai pulse, is boiled, it becomes all the harder. Master, but you don't belong to that class. How they talk to each other, you see. What a beautiful way of immediate. He wants, Ramakrishna wants all negativity in a person to be eliminated. He is seeing at every time the mind puts a cover of darkness. Oh, my fate is like this, my this is like that. Small things happening. Every man forgets the lot of enjoyments that he has enjoyed, but small sufferings that come, we feel dejected in life, frustrated in life. Depression we undergo for small things. That negativity he doesn't want to enter into his mind. Small things, and these are just for talks, discussions purpose, but still it is coming from within, you see. There is an alternative possibility he is telling. He may not be thinking of himself being that, but it has come out of his mouth means he has found an alternative which is negative. It may not be meaning that, but it has come from within. There is a place where in his consciousness, in his mind, in his feelings, there is a negativity. Though it is like a shadow somewhere hidden, Sri Ramakrishna doesn't want it to be there. Be positive, be progressing. Why are you thinking like that? Sri Ramakrishna did not mean that or bring that negativity into. You are Siddha. And what does Siddha mean? Like potatoes and other vegetables, when boiled they become soft. Like that you have become soft in heart to feel for others. But you don't belong to that class, like the black gram becoming harder when boiled. You don't belong to that class. Mere pandits are like diseased fruit that becomes hard and will not ripen at all. The fruits, if they are diseased, they never ripe. They remain hard itself. You are not like that. But you don't. Mere pandits. Mere pandits means he has lot of understanding. He has studied scriptures. He knows everything. He says by mouth. He has learned from books. But heart has not become soft. Intellectually he knows everything. But it has not been absorbed. It has not become his blood and bone that makes him act. He tells by mouth, feel compassion for others. But it has not transformed him. Reading somewhere, he is uttering, but his heart is still hard. They are called mere pandits. They only speak, they are learned from books, like parrots they speak, but there is no internal transformation. The actions and life is different from what they speak. Mere pandits are like diseased fruit that become hard and will not ripen at all. Such fruit has neither the freshness of green fruit nor the flavor of ripe. The diseased one, it cannot be used as tender vegetable, nor it can be taken as the ripe fruit. Flavor of ripe and green of fruit. Freshness of green fruit. Vultures soar very high in the sky, but their eyes are fixed on the rotten carrion on the ground. Vultures soar very high. People who speak lot of things high, but their life is a lowly kind of life. They speak, they think, but their life doesn't reflect what they preach or what they say. So such people are like vultures. Vultures soar very high, but their eyes are on the carrion pit. This word, carrion, means the rotten flesh of dead animals is called carrion. So where is the dead bodies and the flesh, rotten flesh, it is on there. That means they speak high and their life is lowly, base level of enjoyments, physical enjoyments. On the Kamini Kanchana, what Sri Ramakrishna used to say, they are attached to the world of ignorance. The world of ignorance, world of knowledge is I am self, I am Purna, I don't need anything from this world. Forgetting that I am Atman, I am Purna, I am bliss absolute. From within, I am ocean of bliss, peace, love. That ignorance, I don't know that. And I run after the momentary pleasures of the world, momentary pleasures, which is going to bind and give lot of suffering. That. So, they are attached to the world of ignorance. It is called world of ignorance. Compassion, love of God and renunciation are glories of true knowledge. See how beautifully he is presenting what supreme knowledge he is placing in his heart. It is like a seed, putting the seed, he is watering it so that it will bloom in the near future. Compassion, love of God and renunciation are glories of true knowledge. Compassion for all beings, love for God, and withdrawal from all the enjoyments of the world, except duties and responsibilities which you have to do. All other enjoyments are different from duties and responsibilities. A person who has renounced will continue to do, is renounced only what is bad in the world, what is going to bind him to the world, momentary pleasures of the world. But all the duties and responsibilities he discharges with diligence and complete dedication as an offering to the divine. He is a family man, he has to bring up the children, he has to look after the family, he has to make the earnings, all that he is doing. He has no taste for the physical enjoyments and bodily comforts. He is getting all that joy, all that from the eternal he is getting from within. The peace, the love and the bliss he is enjoying within. Are glories of true knowledge. The world of ignorance and the knowledge, true knowledge, the glories of true knowledge. See the difference. Those people who belong to are attached to the world of ignorance, and those who are possessing the glories of true knowledge. Vidyasagar listened to these words in silence. Now he has nothing to say. Sri Ramakrishna has cleansed the whole being of Vidyasagar, all aspects of difficulties that and obstructions for receiving that knowledge, and placed the seed within, and which is going to take him to the Supreme. And he is spellbound. In silence, he is listening, he is receiving that grace, he is receiving that benediction, he is receiving those seeds Sri Ramakrishna wants to implant in his heart. Vidyasagar listened to these words in silence. The others too gazed at the master and were attentive to every word he said. Listen how you see, not only Vidyasagar. Vidyasagar is a person now, when we compare with the rest of the people who have assembled there, we see that he has become a nimitta, an occasion. Vidyasagar has become an occasion for Sri Ramakrishna to implant the same seeds in the heart of all those who are gathered. You see, this is the benefit of satsanga. If you just attend the satsanga and listen to the conversation of disciple and guru, you are benefited. See, for music classes and all, there are people who go with that person. Now, suppose mother is there, she wants to take the child for music classes. She doesn't want to learn. She goes with the child, makes him sit there and learn. The teacher will be teaching. And more than the student, the person who accompanied starts getting the knowledge. The same knowledge. When the child comes back home and starts practicing, like a teacher, she'll be guiding. No, no, teacher did not tell in this way. You have to tell it, say that in this way. How beautifully they differentiate, because they are just witnesses but have grasped the essence more perfectly than the person who is receiving. All these get that benefit. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.